What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dog. With our powers combined, we have
Oh, JJ Wang, if you could see me now, I am tan, I am not burnt, and I just got in from the beach and hit almost no traffic. It was the greatest drive home in the history of humankind.
Did any Courier fans come out and say hello?
I didn't know none of the career I did see a couple of guys wearing like football t-shirts just following me around. They were just too nervous to come up and talk to me
Yeah.
while we were out there. Ironically, I did run into some people I knew down there, and it was one of my son's best friends from kindergarten. So we had lunch with them. But yeah, no Courier Nation. I guess they're too busy researching for the upcoming season. That's all I can guess.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's. But I did spend a lot of time this week looking at fantasy while I was just relaxing on the beach. I was reading up. I'm starting doing a dynasty startup starting Tuesday. Two quarterback, tight end, premium, and I have the number 4 pick. So I'm broken. So it's at number you got basically Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert. And after that, it's sort of pick your poison, right?
And at that point, it's just whichever quarterback you like the best.
Yeah, and that's so it's
It's
basically
your favorite quarterback at that point. I
it's like
mean,
what Kyler, Lamar, or Burrow.
Burrow, yeah. I mean, it was those guys. I guess you can possibly throw Dak in there. I guess maybe
I think it'd be
probably
too soon.
he's gonna. I mean, I can see, but I mean, honestly, I can see Dak having a better year than Joe Burrow. I can see Dak having a
Mhm.
better year than all three of those guys. He's done it before.
Oh,
I
I'm a
mean,
Dak fan. I
are
love
you?
that.
I mean, you're drafting Murray, knowing you're only going to get him for 8 games, and then the second half he's going to stink. So I mean, do you want that, or do you want Dak, who at least is going to play the whole game, and they're not going to probably going to throw a lot too, probably. But yeah, that's a tough choice. Like I said, it's just whichever guy you like best.
I mean, his foot's gonna fall off if he uses the other one, so who knows with Dak there? And that was gross. But yeah, so I've mock draft all 4 of them through, and I'm sitting there. I was like, oh, I have no clue. Like, I might just put a name in a hat and draft them. So it's I mean, I had one that came through. I've had a couple mocks I've really liked, so I'm just trying to figure out my second round because I know it's gonna be a quarterback first round unless I'm stupid. Because it dries up quick with 12 team and 12 active people. Like they interviewed people to join this league. Like you had to
Oh yeah,
talk to them, and they want active
I mean,
owners.
on it, I'd probably have my first 2 picks would probably be quarterbacks. But
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even care because I
yeah,
mean, yeah, you need 2 quarterbacks. I wouldn't draft anything else but quarterbacks my first
yeah.
2 rounds.
Especially dynasty. Like I'm doing a best ball league right now, and I was like, you know what? I was the 11 pick. I'm gonna zag. So I took McCaffrey and I took Justin Jefferson on the turn on the way back around. Whew. I am rocking Matt Ryan, Jameis Winston, and Jared Goff.
I
Not too
mean,
bad. I got Zeke in there too, but yeah, it's not too bad. But
your team's going to be really bad in about 2 years, but
well, it's best ball, so it's for this year.
yeah, best ball,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's best ball, but still, it's still scary because quarterback wells dry up. Like Superflex has changed the quarterback because I think we're both of the later round quarterback idea, unless you get big guns. So you don't want to go in the middling rounds, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's just one, you talk about one quarterback.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll wait. I'll wait forever. I don't need those top guys.
You can play waiver wire quarterbacks, but yeah, two quarterback and super flex.
I don't necessarily like playing waiver wire quarterback. It's not really what I like to do. I'd like to get a quarterback that I can count on every week, like a Kirk Cousins type,
Yeah, so you
like
might get
like
them a smidge before me. And it depends on the league
maybe
too.
a David Carr type. I don't. I mean, I think you still need a good quarterback. You don't want to be going through the year just switching from one bum quarterback to another bum quarterback. I mean, that makes fantasy bad, man. I'm sorry.
But if you think about it, quarterback 8 through 20, what's the difference? That's
Uh,
but home leagues are weird too because people will roster like 4 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league, which makes it messy.
oh yeah, but I'm saying, do you? So I mean, I don't know who the top, but I don't know. I don't got the quarterback list in front of me. But I mean, I would rather have Kirk Cousins before that 20th ranked quarterback. What, Mac Jones? I guess at that point you want Kirk Cousins or you want Mac Jones?
Everything I'm hearing out of camp, I might want Mac Jones, but
Okay, let's be honest.
Kirk Cousins.
Do you want, yeah,
So
for
number
real.
20 is Matt Ryan. Number 21 is Matt. Jameis is 22, Tannehill for a week or two is
Yeah.
23.
So who's 8 through 12?
8 through 12, we're looking Jalen Hurts, who I think should be higher, maybe with the running. So maybe 9. 9 might be the line because Tom Brady falls off. So 9 is Tom Brady. 10 is Aaron Rodgers. 11 is Wilson. This is Fantasy Pros. Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Trey Lance. I think he's too high because I don't know anything. Cousins, Deshaun Watson, so throw him out. Fields, T Law, Matt Ryan, and then that's the cutoff. So after that, you got the next 10 are Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Tannehill, Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz, Kenny Pickett, Goff, Daniel Jones, Davis Mills is 29.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People hate Davis Mills. They're stupid.
Baker's
Doesn't
at 30. He's my new snake pick.
I mean Baker. I mean, I guess. I mean, that's just because he's on a, you can get him that cheap and he's okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to play roulette with those 20 through 30 ranked quarterbacks. I'd rather have Kirk Cousins and just stop right with David Carr and be confident. And they're going to give you good games pretty much every week.
Oh, yeah.
It's what their career has been. And those other guys, like those other guys, you just don't like. Even Matt Ryan, you don't know what Matt Ryan is going to give you.
Yeah, but we'll have to look at it when I put mine in order. Quarterback's so good. Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr could totally be QB1s for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they're really good. So anyway, we're looking into a section here. I've been posting questions on the Fantasy Couriers Facebook page, which is where we do most of our conversing in with Courier Nation. And a couple of questions I have on here I want to pose on the podcast to start it, and then we're going to talk about our top owned guys, why we own them, outlooks we see for them, and then call it a week. So the first question that I thought would be great to put on there, because there's two polarizing guys. You have Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley. They're both older. They're both, I said former number 1 fantasy draft picks. Zeke was never ADP 1, but I've been at least where he's drafted 1. Who would you rather have on your team in 2022 and why? Or at what point would you select them? So Zeke or Saquon for this year, in a vacuum, just this year?
This is a tough question because, and I'll be real. I mean, when it comes down to it, I don't want either one of these guys. And the question that I asked you earlier is like, do you want the guy that plays a lot, or do you want the guy that never plays but his upside is really high? And I think at this point, people are going to go with Saquon just because the Zeke chatter is just so negative at this point. Like Zeke's going to be gone after next year. Tony Pollard looks so much better. Tony Pollard is going to take a lot of carries. Zeke's not going to be that guy anymore. But in New York, if Saquon's healthy, he's going to get all the carries. So I guess I'd probably lean towards Saquon. I guess.
Yep. So yeah,
that's
it's a double-edged sword. You got Zeke. Somehow was running back 6 last year, somewhere around there, depending upon your scoring, just because he plotted through and he's going to get touchdowns, and that might help him in the long run. If Saquon plays, man, you're getting a steal with Saquon. Like, he's going second round. Most people picked Saquon. Charles here said Saquon second round, maybe.
Yeah.
My favorite answer. Favorite answer was
second round. Like, I guess at that because. Well, I mean, unless it's a 2 quarterback league, then of course you would go. If it's 1 quarterback, I think the running backs are dried up by the end of the second round. Yeah. So Saquon's going to be in the top 2 rounds. I would almost say, because you start going back and drafting when you start drafting mock drafts or whatever, and you get to the 3rd and 4th rounds, your running backs are just so bad. I mean, It's like, wow, what happened? The fall off is quick. I think Saquon is better than that. So I'm thinking Saquon is probably at the end of the second round is probably where I would take him. I don't know. I would probably pass on him even if he was the last running back available for me to draft.
I don't know. I'm interested in the new Giants regime. Like, everybody's talking really good about Brian Daboll. Is he going to bring in any of the Buffalo stuff? My favorite comment comes from Ryan, who said, I'd rather have Tim Tebow. Barkley generally, Jeremy said, things got to break right for Barkley, no? I had him his rookie season. He was awesome. Got to figure that season will come again. But
that's the hype on Barkley. That first season, everybody's like, ooh, Barkley's so great because he had a great rookie season. Also had a great season earlier in their career? Josh Gordon. And people have been chasing that year of Josh Gordon for 10 years. People are still chasing that season. Are we gonna be doing that? We're gonna be doing that with Barkley in the next 3 or 4 years, still chasing that rookie year, and
Oh,
he's still letting us down. I
yeah,
mean,
I think we will. It's like Odell. Odell in that
Odell.
catch. Odell's catch. That's all he's got. He's had
No,
some
I
great
don't
games,
know
but
that.
he had that season. But I mean, that's what Odell's known for. If
Oh
you
yeah,
ask anybody
yeah.
about Odell, it's the catch, and they'll keep drafting him for the catch. Even
Because
they'll draft him now, even with a torn ACL from
he was a highlight at one point in his career.
like
That's
Justin
not
Ross. Um.
like who?
Anyway, Justin
Justin.
Ross, the next Odell. So the second question I posed was last year Hollywood Brown and Rashad Bateman were teammates. Now Brown is in Arizona. This year each is arguably wide receiver one on his team, at least to start the season. Who would you prefer in 2022, and who would you prefer in Dynasty?
I would like to say I prefer Bateman, but I don't think you can say that because um, Hollywood actually played pretty well. He had over 1,000 yards last year, right? And a couple touchdowns. And he's going to a much better offense, or I'm not going to say a much better offense, much more prolific passing offense. So we have and with D Hop out for the first 6 games, he's going to get a lot more targets. So I think just about targets alone and opportunity alone, I think it's got to be Hollywood Brown. But I'd like Bateman better. But I still think, even for Dynasty this year and for Dynasty, I still think you got to go Hollywood just because the passing in Baltimore is only Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not true because Hollywood was pretty decent.
So you got to figure Bateman's going to get 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns almost handed to him because there's nothing left. And I'm with you on the Hollywood. This was actually split down on the Facebook page.
So, I can see both of them getting 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's what I see. But I see like probably both of them. I would say Hollywood has the better season just because they're going to pass more. But now that I think, I can probably lean to where they probably end up having the exact same year because when Hopkins comes back, that's going to take a little hype from Hollywood, I would think. Maybe.
Well, that's sort of been the two. It's basically split. Jared said, "Give me Hollywood. First 6 games will be good without Hopkins. Arizona will throw more than Baltimore, as we said. Kirk had a good year last year, and Hopkins in Hollywood is probably better than Kirk, I would believe. Arizona did spread the ball around last year for Dynasty. Bateman's the unknown with a higher ceiling because you don't know what Bateman can do." Brian says, "Bateman, he's going to be a star. Watch any of his highlights in college and even his catches his rookie year. I know he was hurt and didn't play the whole season. He's going to be very good as long as he gets the targets. He catches everything." So it's
no one's arguing that he's not a great or I don't want to say great because it's a little too early, but a good wide receiver. I mean, it's the opportunity. I think Hollywood's going to have more opportunity come his way than Bateman does. Like it's not. Like I said, I would rather have Bateman, but I just don't see Bateman being better than Hollywood.
And the last one, which is a quick one, it's a guy we both loved. Scary Terry got paid, so he's going to stay near us here in Washington. I thought they were going to build a stadium 15 minutes from house. Looks like that's going to fall through.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, it is.
That whole thing they got going on there.
Oh, Snyder's a disaster.
Crap show, man.
Yeah.
We got Dan Snyder rolling around on his yacht, running from subpoenas. It's hilarious. I hate that guy.
Nuts. But so Terry McLaurin for the Commanders, is he elite or just the best they have in the devil they know?
I think he's probably the best they had. I think they had to sign him. You couldn't let him go. I don't think. I mean, like I said, I don't know if he's elite, but he's really, really good, I think. So I mean, like you said, they had to sign him. I don't think they really had much more. People liked him. Fans like him. And honestly, what I think this was, because they've been going back and forth for a long time over, or is he going to sign? Is he not going to sign? The publicity is so bad in DC right now. They needed something good. So what's the best they got? Sign McLaurin because everybody likes him. And now for, a couple days or whatever, people forgot about the whole situation with Dan Snyder and all they could think about was Terry McLaurin. That's probably going to dissipate within the next couple of days and they'll end up going back. But at least it was a break for the organization. So I think that's a lot. I'm not saying they wasn't going to resign him, but I think that's why they resigned him at that moment. Because like last week, they weren't even close. And then all of a sudden this happens. We need something positive. Let's just go break the bank on McLaurin. He got paid. Kudos for him. I love it when these guys get paid. They deserve all they get. So who's the best quarterback or the best wide receiver out of that class? So you got AJ Brown, Debo, McLaurin. I think it was Deontay Johnson and Metcalf.
I hate to say Metcalf, but I'm not a Metcalf man. I've always loved Terry. I mean, is he the most consistent? I mean, dude's got 900 or 1100 and 1000 yards. It's pick your poison.
I mean, honestly,
you're a DK guy.
I like DK. Like I think we might end up bringing him up here a little later. I think they're all tough. I mean, Debo was awesome this year, but his past is checkered, right? AJ Brown, he just disappears all the time.
That's my problem with AJ Brown.
I don't know. I think I'd probably go Metcalf just because I like Metcalf better.
It's those two. I mean, Scary Terry's was the best value.
Yeah.
Because I got him in a third round of a rookie draft or something silly like that.
Yeah, like Deontay Johnson's been a good value, I think. Not sure.
My problem is he's dropping off. He's not going to do what he did last year, and his quarterback is either Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. Good luck, dude.
Good luck.
I mean, I looked up Carson. Scary Terry should have the same. I see him. Nothing's going to change for him. He's going to be Michael Pittman for Carson Wentz. Pittman had almost the same stats as McLaurin last year.
So you don't think
literally
you don't think Dotson poses a threat?
No, if they're going to do anything, I mean, he's going to be a rookie. He'll still get hit. Like, I think he'll still get his catches, but Carson Wentz can throw it at two people because the tight end's going to be slower until Logan Thomas comes back. It's going to be McKissick and Terry McLaurin are the pass catchers. Maybe Gibson if they decide they like him or not. So Jahan Dotson, they like him a lot. So if you want to be a good NFL team, usually you need two receivers. I mean,
they do got Curtis Samuel. They got Curtis Samuel too.
Oh yeah, right. So yeah, I think he'll be. I think Terry's going to be the one, and then Samuel's healthy. He'll get more catches than.
So does Wentz throw for 4,000 yards
in today's NFL? Yeah, I think he'll. I believe it. I mean, last year I went into the season thinking my boy Fitzpatrick could throw for 4,000 yards. So why not?
Yeah, right. You're right. I mean, it's possible. I just don't know how good
Tannehill did it in Miami with a bunch of monkeys. So, I mean, he could have thrown to you and me there, and it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So, today for our show, we wanted to go across some of the top guys we own on our own teams, and just a quick reason why, what we think is going to happen with them, why they're there. JJ Wang was flipping out because I have like a gajillion guys written down because I don't for some reason other than my top two, actually than my top guy. I don't have more than 2 shares of pretty much anybody except some of these rookies that I got for pennies on the dollar before this season because I try to diversify to a point, and that way I'm not doomed. Because I did that I had a lot of Darius Geist the other year. It did not pan out well for me. Luckily, I traded 1 share right before he got arrested or canned or whatever all happened. So I'll go first, and because my reasoning, I'm not going to go into it. I'll talk about them enough later on. My top owned, I have on every team, I think, except for one, I have Tua. And then I've picked up my share of Waddle. Because Tua, and I have this belief, if you're playing fantasy and you got a favorite team, now don't be stupid. I'm not going to go there and say, hey, I'm going to trade, I don't even know, Justin Jefferson so I can have Tua on my team. I'm not going to give up Aaron Rodgers for Tua. But I got Tua pennies on the dollar. Everybody hates Tua, so why not have the guy I support? Waddle is a great up-and-coming. I play mostly Dynasty, so, I mean, he's a top 8 Dynasty guy, and I've traded decent trades to get him. So I've got a handful of Waddles, a ton of Tua. I just traded Tua away last week. He'd have been proud of me. But if you have a team you like and you're not doing anything stupid to mess up your team and you can still balance around it, have some guys you can root for. It's terrible to watch my Dolphins and go, don't score, don't. I did that with Ricky Williams for many years. I loved Ricky, but I had rooted against him every week, and it was hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of the reason why I gave up. I don't want to say gave up the Cowboys because it just got like I'm dedicated to fantasy. I can't be rooting for the Cowboys to play bad or the Cowboys. It was just too hard. But yeah, I mean, you play fantasy, have guys you like on your team. I mean, that's what it's all about. And if you really like Tua, I mean, have that. It's just like I really like my guy. I mean, it's
you get him for nickels on the dollar too.
Yeah, literally, I got this guy for zero everywhere because when he come out, nobody wanted this guy. Like I feel like I'm the only one that wanted this guy when he came out. That's it. And he's like get him in the third round. You got him undrafted. Wasn't even drafted in a lot of rookie
Yeah.
drafts. But anyway, that's my guy. My guy's Davis Mills, by the way. But back to Tua. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know what Tua's fantasy value is going to be. I think the team's going to be good, but it's just one of those. Is he going to be fantasy good, or is he going, or is the team going to be? Is he going to be both? But it's going
And
to be tough.
I honestly have no clue. Like I want him to be good. I don't see if they're projecting Hill and Waddle to be awesome, and then the quarterback's got to be good unless he only throws for 2,000 yards. They each get 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he threw for 2,010 touchdowns. Okay, cool. But that generally doesn't happen in this game, and I'm putting my faith in the new regime down there. Uh, I'm loving what I'm hearing, and that's all you can do at this point. We'll find out in
Yeah,
September.
yeah. It's just like I'm putting the faith in. Like I'm putting the faith in the Texans. Like I really cared about them forever. But yeah, I'm kind of putting. I think the Texans are. I'm not going to say they're on the. I'm not going to say they're the Dolphins, but I feel like they're on the same path. I mean, I feel like they've got. I think their general manager is a little more, little better at his job. I think the team environment's going to be a little better. And I know nobody likes Davis Mills, but if any of those top four quarterbacks drafted would have had the year Davis Mills had last year, they'd be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Trevor Lawrence did so good, or Justin Fields did so with these numbers. He was so good. He's definitely going to be the man next year. But just because he was drafted in the third round, he doesn't get any love. But his pedigree coming out of college was, I'm not going to say he was just as good as Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, but this guy was a 5-star product coming out of college, just like all these other guys. But because his college career didn't go his way, and then he jumps right into the NFL and performs well on a bad team. So I just don't understand why everybody hates him. Like they didn't. You gotta see it and see that he's decent. Why is he nobody like care about this guy?
It's because he's in Houston. Did you know that this year, based upon the spread, Houston is predicted to go 0-15-1?
They were supposed to go 15-1 last year too.
Am I looking at the wrong? Is this last year's? Am I wrong? I was playing. No,
It
this is
might,
it. So it's the
no,
same thing this year. It's the same thing
yes,
this
same
year.
thing this
Oh,
year.
15-1, and I think it's because he's not the sexy pick. I mean, he threw for 2,600 yards not in what 13 games, 11 games started last year. I mean, the thing is, it's good for you to want to have him because he's cheap and free, and you can stash him there. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have him as your one. So you got a guy you can like Tua. Actually, he's my super flex guy. He's never my one on any of my teams. He's like my number 2 super flex. I had him in a one quarterback league where I wasn't going to use him. I had Josh Allen, so I traded him. But yeah, so it's
So a
having those guys at the top.
third round rookie coming into the league with a 67% completion percentage, right?
Yeah, I mean you're going to get it if you're drafting redraft. Is he going drafted? Is he going undrafted in a one quarterback league and
Oh, I think so.
10th
Yeah.
round? And when's
I
he
don't
going in a
think-
two quarterback league?
That's
8th round?
yeah.
Because of warm bodies.
Yeah, I mean, he's a starting quarterback and he's going to
Yeah.
play. I mean, there's no threat of him not playing. I mean, he's going to be the guy. And if he plays anything like he did last year, where you're looking at almost 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know who that is? It's Carson Wentz. We love Carson Wentz.
Nobody likes Carson Wentz.
Well, we do.
I like
We
Carson
like
Wentz.
Carson Wentz. But I mean, you're
I
talking
like Dave Bills too.
similar Matt Ryan. Everybody loves Matt Ryan, but I'd almost put down on a bet that Davis Mills has a better season than Matt Ryan
Ooh.
as far as numbers go.
I need to write that somewhere down.
I mean, because I think Matt
Last year.
Ryan's going to be 4,000 yards and 23
25
touchdowns.
touchdowns, yeah.
Same thing. And I think Davis Mills, I think Tennessee's gotten better. Not Tennessee, but I think Houston's gotten better than they were last year.
My recent drafting of John Mechie makes me hope so.
Yes.
And my Nico Collins I have somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better. I'm not saying they'll be great. I think they're going to be better.
So the first two are more fandemonium kind of picks, guys we are rooting for. Let's go down and do one or two more of our favorites. We got a bunch in there like the next stash looks like we're hitting some rookies here. Mine's a big gaggle. Who's that rookie guy you like a lot there?
So my guy is Isaiah Spiller for the Chargers. I think they finally got their running back that they've been dying to replace, not replace Eckler, but run with Eckler. His pedigree is a lot better than his last two or three guys that they've had. 1,000 yards in college, touchdowns. He can, like I said, we have said this so many times. He had a bad combine and it just plummeted his stock. But you know what? You can watch the tape and see that he's good. I mean, maybe like so some of these guys you got to train differently for the combine than you do for football. It's that's what they all say. And what if some of these guys don't want to train that way? What if they don't want to? I know it hurt his stock or whatever. I totally get that. It's probably didn't do that on purpose, but you got to train differently. Maybe these guys don't want to train differently than what they have been training for the past 10 years, and he knows he's good enough. He landed in a good spot, so he's going to play. He's going to be on a good team for the next 4 years. Be productive, and he's going to get paid.
Hey,
Hopefully,
three questions for you. Like I'm not an Isaiah Spiller scholar, so it's you just got me on the Eckler train. So having the Eckler train jump off, it's like, man, you just stop messing with me. So
I'm not jumping
Isaiah,
off the Eckler. I'm not jumping off the Eckler train at all. I think Eckler's going to be awesome. I think Eckler's going to be the exact same running back that he has been. Nothing changes.
okay,
I
well,
think
three
he's. I think.
questions.
Go ahead.
Isaiah Spiller, over or under 500 yards rushing this year?
That's a tough one. You know what? I'm going to say. I'll say he's going to be right at 500. Because I say he goes a little over.
Okay. Isaiah Spiller, will he have more or less touchdowns than Melvin Gordon did as a rookie? That'd be 0.
Didn't he have 0? Zero?
Okay, Isaiah Spiller, more or less than 30 receptions.
I think you go less than 30.
So you think he's going to be he's going to be the Thunder to the Lightning?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think you want all your receptions to go to Eckler. I don't think he's going. I think he's just going to be that in between tackles that can break a big play here and there and just take a lot of that pressure work off of Eckler. The only thing that's going to hurt Eckler is he's not scoring 20 touchdowns.
Austin Eckler, how many years left on the Chargers before Isaiah Spiller takes over if you're so big on him?
Oh, I say Isaiah Spiller will be the lead back. I say you'll see it next year.
Next year, we'll see.
I'll see.
Oh,
I think Eckler will be more of the like a J.D. McKissick going that style. Like he'll catch a lot.
you're gonna hope for Kamara, but get McKissick.
But yeah, he'll get a lot of the receiving. Like McKissick isn't a big rusher, but I think it'd be like Spiller get all the rushing game, and then Eckler get all the receiving game. I think they'll both eat.
So just a bunch of names. My next pile. This year I didn't have many early rookie picks. I'll end up with a couple shares of Drake London in the long run, but I got a ton of late picks. We've heard my love for Justin Ross. I'm just gonna throw out some names for no reason other than possible opportunity. With Kamara possibly missing 6 games, Abram Smith could get some. There's a bajillion running backs there.
Yeah.
I heard a beat reporter today, or a guy down in New Orleans said they might bring in another running back, which could totally mess up Abram Smith down there. You have the other 2 receivers in Green Bay. I've got a lot of Dowds. Then you got, I just brain farted on the other guy's name. Starts with an S. I'll find him in a second. Velus Jones, the speedy guy in Chicago, is a guy I got a ton of as well. So just this year, I just grabbed a bunch of the rookies because usually there's somebody in that late round, and with me having not much early and a whole lot late, it ended up being what I grabbed this year. So I had it's driving me bonkers, the one guy's name that I'll pull up once I get done talking here. But yeah, so if because what I'm hearing is next year's draft is really top heavy, and this year there might be some sneaky guys coming out of the later rounds. Samari Tor is the other guy in Green Bay. He was out of I'm terrible, out of Nebraska. So I'm not a Christian Watson guy, so I think it's gonna be one of those 2 guys. I'm just grabbing both of them with hope so there's always some dart throw somewhere. So like last year, it was St. Brown for me. He came out of sort of a spell and just came up and did that. So rookies, if you're look on your waiver, maybe there's someone there and you got a roster spot, throw them on there. I've taxied and you've set up 5 giant taxi squads. I'd just throw them on there, and if you throw it, it sticks. Cool. If not, it just falls off the wall and hits the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
No
no,
harm, no foul.
yeah, no harm, no foul. Another guy that I got a lot of as a rookie is Jalen Tolbert. Got a lot of
I
that guy.
can't get any. Every you snake me, and then my buddy Lance snakes me. I've missed him every time by like a pick or two. It kills me. So, your guy, who you going for next?
So I want to go Cam Akers here. So I think this guy, I mean, and honestly, during rookie season, during the rookie draft, I was trying to get rid of this guy so bad. I was like sending trade offers to everybody, and nobody wanted him at all. And it was just crazy because I think the Rams really, really like this guy.
Uh-huh.
This guy came back after an Achilles injury and got all the workload in the playoffs. And he didn't even play that well. But he still got all the workload. That just goes to show Sean McVay loves this guy. Sean McVay wants to run one running back. And from what I hear from Akers, of course he's not going to say anything else. Saying he's completely healthy, he's ready to go, and I think this could be a better year, or not want to say better because he really hasn't had that good year yet. But I think this could be that year where he gets that workload and has a good season. I think RB1 could definitely be in the picture here.
Oh, he was written down for me. He's a guy I have. I got two, like every other guy from this point. I've got like two shares of. So I have two shares of Joe Mixon. Oh no, Joe. I'm going to talk about of Cam Akers. I love that for all those reasons. McVay runs one back. Everybody's like, well, what about Darrell Henderson? Yes. Did you notice he played after Akers got hurt? All these other guys came. Sony Michelle came
He
after.
completely disappeared when Akers came back. So
Yeah.
and he's not coming off a fresh injury. So I I don't know how. I mean, I think this guy's going to get all the carries.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be great this year. I'm glad I got two shares of him. As I just mentioned, my next guy is Joe Mixon. He was a guy I loved when he came into the league so much that I foolishly traded around and drafted him instead of Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook because I'm an idiot. But anyway, he's not he's a I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like last year he had a career year, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. I don't see him getting 1,200 yards again. But I
I don't
just
see the Bengals being that good this year.
obviously I'm down on him, but I can see him still getting touchdowns. I can
I
see.
think
I see Joe. I mean, Joe Mixon just got a. He's got a 3 year. He's got 3 years on his contract now. So
I mean, they don't have anybody else.
yeah. So I mean, there's some dead cap stuff this year, but he's got 8, 9, and $9 million for the next 3 years to play. They're talking about giving Evans some of the passing work. They say Piran they're trying to push out a little bit, but Joe Mixon had a solid year last year. I mean, he's been a good running back when he's played the last couple years. Last year was the first time that he started. Oh no, he only played 16. So that 16 is the most games that he started, and he
That's
was
pretty
just a
good.
yeah. I didn't even. I'm not even close to see if he's just skipped that last game, but and they got their line is getting better. That can only bode well for him. I mean, the line was terrible in Cincinnati, and they're saying that's going to bode well for him and Burrows. So I'm glad to have Joe Mixon on two of my better teams. He's my running back two, so that makes it even better for me. So I got double Joe Mixon, loving him through.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. Like I said, I think it's just going to be him. I don't want to say. I think it's just going to be him and Evans. I think Evans is going to take a step as the number two because
Captain America.
he's a really good receiving back. I think he had a couple of games last year. He had that one great catch, and I can't remember what game it was. Great catch, touchdown, I believe. But I think I'm not too worried about P Ryan. But yeah, Mixon's going to be good. I mean, he's going to get all the goal line carries. He's going to get all the touchdowns. I mean, they don't have it. They said they don't have anybody else. He's going to get all the work. I don't know if Bengals are. I think they're probably a playoff team. I think they're going to be battling to get into the playoffs this year.
Maybe that the strength schedule they could get nicked. Who knows? I mean, it's a well without Deshaun, the division gets easier, so he's not gonna play this year. But let's do one more. We're gonna end on receivers. I'll start with this one because this is I mentioned him before, so I'm not gonna go a lot into him. This one's just I have him because I traded last year hoping a lot out of Allen Robinson after the decent year in Chicago. Then he just basically ghosted the NFL and disappeared and played blah. But I just think situation. He is Robert Woods. He is in Los Angeles. If you can get Allen Robinson, he's falling late in redraft. If you can trade for him while he's low in dynasty before people listen to the Couriers podcast and tell you how great Allen Robinson is going to be, I totally see Robinson getting over 1,000 yards and pushing for 10 touchdowns in this high flying Rams offense. I see your face. I mean, Cooper Kupp's not going to do what he did last year.
Oh, absolutely.
So they can support two receivers on that team and Cam Akers. Robert Woods. I'll pull that up while you're
10
telling me how
touchdowns.
terrible Allen Robinson
No,
is.
I mean, no, I didn't. I wouldn't say terrible. I was okay. I was okay with the 1,000 yards, but you dropped the 10 touchdowns. I think 10 touchdowns is going to be an awful lot for him to acquire, especially as like I guess as the number two guy. But I mean, I haven't been a great big A-Rob fan. I've never really had him anywhere, honestly. I don't got really anything negative to say about him. Don't really have anything positive to say. He's kind of disappeared the last couple of years.
Nope.
But I mean, like I said, great offense. I mean, Robert Woods has been really good. Like you said, they've supported two wide receivers. So I mean, it's definitely possible. The 10 touchdowns is a lot.
It's a bold prediction from DJ.
That's very bold.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna put it up there. I think Cooper Kupp's gonna disappoint people. Like he's not gonna be terrible, but I think there's gonna be some regression that people are gonna really overdraft. Because I love Cooper Kupp.
Well, if anybody goes into the season thinking Cooper Kupp isn't going to regress, they are crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been receivers that have been up for many years at those late ages. So
yeah, but I'm not saying Cooper Kupp's not going to be good, but he ain't going to be 2021 good.
And Antonio Brown was good at that age for a couple of years till he was a knuckleheader. So who's your last guy? It's polarizing. I just don't like him.
So my last guy is DK Metcalf. Of course, we talked about him earlier. You don't like him. You've made your point very clear. It's like he's in a tough spot. I mean, he's been pretty consistent. He gets his touchdowns. I wish the targets could be a little more, even when Russell Wilson was there. Honestly, I think with Geno Smith, it might actually help him a little bit more than it might sound crazy, but with Russell Wilson, I think Geno Smith is going to lean on DK Metcalf a little bit more. Drew Lock might start. Who knows? If Drew Lock starts, then I feel bad for everybody. But I don't know if DK Metcalf could be that wide receiver one right now with what they got going on, but I think he's still going to be a solid wide receiver two just because he's a big dude, a big touchdown guy, a big target in the end zone. He can still go deep. And I think Geno Smith can support. I really hope it him. I think Geno can. And plus, if they get Baker, I think Baker can be.
That was me. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, my bad. Rewind that. What do you got?
I was going to say DK Metcalf with Geno Smith, garbage. Geno Smith is captain overthrow. When he came into the league, that was my big argument. Everybody's like, Geno Smith's so great. I said, no, watch Tavon and the other guy who was the kick returner for the Rams. I can't think, but if you watch the West Virginia games, Geno overthrew those guys. You would watch those guys jump like 8 feet in the air to catch the ball. So I guess throwing high to DK might help him.
I was about to say DK's a big dude. He can get those balls.
I was going to follow up by saying I think DK could have a decent year because Baker's going to be throwing him. DK could get back to his. I don't think he'll get 1,300 yards with Baker. Give him 1,110 touchdowns. He's going to be Allen Robinson.
I can agree with the 10 touchdowns for DK because DK's a touchdown guy.
Yeah, he's a big.
But yeah, if Baker comes over, that obviously helps out a lot more. But like I said, it could be a tough season for Seattle. I think Tyler Lockett's going to be in for a really, really rough season. I think his career, I don't want to say it's over, but I think the Tyler Lockett experiment may be done.
Yeah, I think so. I think
it's a run.
And he had a heck of a run for a dude that I underestimated him, and I got my butt kicked many times by Tyler Lockett. But I do think if they can get a hold of Baker, which it sounds more and more likely every day that they're going to be, and probably till this comes out, Baker will sign with the Panthers. But that it sounds more and more like
Darnold goes to Seattle.
Oh, then I'll tell you, DK Metcalf's dead to me. I don't want to hear his name. No more talking about him. But I think Baker goes there. I'll predict that Jimmy Garoppolo goes to the other team. Because he's not going to be in San Francisco. They can't keep him. So
he won't be in Seattle.
They might cut him, so he can sign wherever.
He wants. But I think they're not going to cut him until after Seattle gets a quarterback. Because San Francisco's in a way better spot than Seattle. Seattle can hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo and nothing really matters because he's not their quarterback anyway. Now, if Seattle's just playing the waiting game, we're just going to play it out. how long are you willing to play it out? Because I don't think San Francisco is going to let Jimmy go to Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my prediction is Baker to Seattle. Jimmy's going to Carolina, which helps another one of my least favorite players, DJ Moore, who's
Least
good, but
favorite? You don't like
I
DJ?
don't like him.
You don't like him?
Like he's probably a great guy. And every year I end up drafting him because the value just falls so far that I've got to take him. But it's been Sam Darnold and Cam and Tyler Heineke. Like I want to see him play with a really good quarterback, and I think Jimmy's not a great quarterback, but Jimmy's a good enough quarterback to. I mean, he took the 49ers through all this, and they're just dumping him because he's not young.
Yeah,
He's not the new hotness.
Jimmy's your quarterback. He's just not Trey Lance, and they spent a lot on Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is their quarterback. Jimmy's got to go. Jimmy go somewhere to be productive because Jimmy's been productive. So.
And he will in Carolina because he'll just dump it off to McCaffrey. So time for the yuck.
That's the worst
time.
sound ever. That's the worst sound ever.
So we do have a theme this week for the yuck time, which is when we highlight kickers or defenses. So if you're playing kicker or defenses, we want to support you, but I also get a little moment to make fun of you because I don't like kickers or defenses in the fantasy realm. But we're going to use strategy to help you win because last week my strategy was look at the defense I had that had the weeks I used Cleveland. When I'm looking for a kicker, I want the kicker on the best team. And who do we think is going to be the best team this year? The Buffalo Bills. So if you get the Buffalo Bills kicker, Mr. Tyler Bass, booyah, you're going to score points. I mean, the sad thing is it might be 5 points only because they score 5 touchdowns, but maybe you throw in a field goal here and now. There's 5 touchdowns and a field goal. There you go. You got 8 points from your kicker versus having the kicker for someone terrible like the Houston Texans, and you won't get anything.
Yeah, I think Tyler Bass is a good kicker. I mean, he scores a lot of points. I mean, he was 11th. Well, PPR was only the 11th ranked kicker last year. I thought he'd be a little higher than that, but
he didn't get those receptions in PPR.
Yeah, I don't know why. But he was the number 4 kicker before. But kickers are so like up and down,
and that's why I don't like them.
You really can't. But like you said, you just go with whoever's got the best offense, and kind of like I'm going. So you go with the kicker. I'm going to go with Buffalo's defense because Buffalo's defense has been like a top 12 defense like the last 4 years in a row. I know your philosophy is, you're trying to find that early team with, the easy schedule. I just kind of like finding a good defense and just kind of just like sticking with them throughout the year. Like I've had Buffalo on this one team for like 3 years because I know they're going to assist. I know they're not going to kill me per se. Plus they got Von Miller. So that can't help. That's got to help out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty good. And I think they're going to be a top, 5, 6, 7 defense, and that's all you want, consistency. Are they going to have 5-point games? Sure, because they all do. But at the end of the season, they're still going to be in top 5. So go Buffalo.
Hey, I can't argue. Like my problem is every time I get excited about defense and I want to have them because I love defenses, I fall on my face. I used to be great at it because I had those Baltimore defenses, those Tampa defenses in the early 2000s, those 3, Tampa, Baltimore, and Miami. I had them all in the right time. Since then, I've hit a wall. I had New England the other year. I got them by just dumb luck, but otherwise, I just
feel like that's what all defenses are, dumb luck. You just happen to pick one up on the waiver wire, and then they just end up being, I'm just going to stick with these guys all year because they're really good.
Yeah.
So, Buffalo could have been in my most category. Why you Bulls? I think I got them in like 5 leagues. I got them everywhere.
Wow.
Nobody cares about defense. They just drop something.
I'm also luckily only in 2 leagues where I have defense. I don't even know what defense. Oh, I think I have Cleveland in both of them. I think I've pulled that up. So I'll just be playing waiver wire defense, and I'll be playing probably the Houston Texans week 6, or whoever's left because there's too many off the waiver. So yeah, we just like talking. We didn't get to talk football this week, so we went long again. We'll see what we do. If y'all like us long, tell us. If you want us shorter, just say, hey dude, shut up. We only want little snippets from you geniuses. Just short and sweet. But if you get a chance, we're looking for 5 more friends. Apparently nobody plays best ball anymore. I've posted it to 17,000 people online. I got to get JJ Wang on here. I did get a couple of guys that. So we saw some open spots in the underdog game. You draft, you watch, you see what happens. It gives you the joy of drafting before August when it gets really crazy drafting, get you a practice draft in. So jump on the underdog. It'll be in the notes. It'll be on the Facebook page. But JJ Wang, give us some wisdom, and then I'm going to go rest a little bit because I've been driving and packing since early morning.
So speaking of those drafts, I mean, it's about mock draft season, isn't it? So, I mean, mock draft is a great tool to use. They're not perfect, but they kind of give you a thought of where these guys can go. So, I mean, if you're doing 4 or 5 mock drafts, you're going to get 4 or 5 different results. So that way, when you go into your draft, you'll be like, oh, this happened in one of my mock drafts. Now I can, pivot to this because I was able to do it last time and it worked really well. You don't have to do it. I think they're just kind of fun. They only take like 3 minutes. You can go through like 15 rounds in just like 3 minutes, just bam, knock it all out. You do like 5 of them and just right
I
after
think we
the
gotta do a
other.
mock draft. That's what I'm hearing. Mock draft
Yeah,
episode coming up
yeah.
soon.
I think they're fun, and plus, like you said, it helps to get you to know everybody too. You're sitting there reading pretty much everybody that's going to get drafted, and all these and you could be like, oh, I forgot about that guy. Maybe when I do my draft, I'm going to be prepared because I forgot about it. Now I know who he is. But yeah, do as many mock drafts as you can, if not anything, just because they're fun.
Yeah.
So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.